Stalemate at the top of the UFC lightweight division. I'm going to be fixing it in today's video. This has been a talking point in the MMA community for a few weeks now, and with Paddy Pimblett getting a win over Michael Chandler and wanting a top 5 opponent fight, I think it's now appropriate to make a video on the topic. So, what caused this stalemate in the first place? I believe it's these 4 contenders at the bottom not having the credentials to fight Islam Makhachev, and I'll tell you why now. So, Arman Tsarukyan, although he has the credentials, he ruined the main event of UFC 311. The UFC say he needs to fight one more time. Then the UFC and Dana White are not giving Arman Tsarukyan a title shot because he ruined the main event of UFC 311 by pulling out a day before the event even happened. So they're not giving it to him. Ilia Topuria has not proven himself against a top lightweight contender. He's obviously vacated the featherweight belt, featherweight champion, not proven at lightweight. Beat Jai Herbert at lightweight. Jai Herbert's not a top level opponent. Islam's also refusing to fight him unless he fights a top ranked lightweight. So it's a very simple solution for Ilia Topuria. It's just to fight someone highly ranked at lightweight. Charles Oliveira, 1 fight win streak, should not be getting title fights off one strike or off 1 fight win streaks. Just the truth, unless it's heavyweight. He lost to Arman Tsarukyan, and he's also lost to Islam Makhachev. Arman's obviously a number 1 contender. You can't have a loss to Arman and be on a 1 fight win streak, especially recently. It's not like this was the first fight of his career. And also he lost to Islam Makhachev, who is the champion. If you're going to get a rematch, you need to be on a little bit more than just a 1 fight win streak. Justin Gaethje, he's on a 1 fight win streak as well, so my point still stands. He beat Fiziev on short notice to get a 1 fight win streak, who's someone he's already beaten before. So, once again, it's not exactly a good win. Well, it's a good win, but it's not like you deserve a title shot off this win. And he also got schooled by Max Holloway 1 fight ago and KO'd by him, who is a featherweight. So, all I'm saying is, you've got a win over Fiziev and you got knocked out by Holloway in your last 2 fights. That's not title shot worthy. And Islam Makhachev, he wants to move up and fight JDM if JDM beats Belal Muhammad. So that's the lightweight situation. On top of that, we'll just throw in Paddy Pimblett as well. He wants a top 5 opponent. So what do we do? Well, I think the most obvious fight that we can make is Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Now, this is dependent on one factor specifically, and that is who wins at UFC 315 between Belal Muhammad and JDM. If Belal wins, we do the winner of this fight fights Islam Makhachev, nothing changes. Whereas if JDM wins, we do this matchup for an interim belt, and then Islam fights JDM, and then basing on what happens in that matchup, bases what happened next. Now, if you think it's dumb to have an interim belt and clog up another division with this stupid belt, this is what they did when Volkanovski tried moving up to fight Islam Makhachev. So they did an interim belt between Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett, forgot his name. Oh my days. He also fought like a week ago as well, so I don't know how I'm forgetting his name. Doesn't really matter. So I think an interim belt works best in this scenario. Regardless of what happens in the Belal JDM fight, I think this fight should happen at 319 or 320. And that's Arman Tsarukyan and Justin Gaethje. This is a no-brainer in my opinion. It makes sense, especially if you're doing Charles versus Ilia. So, if, let's say, hypothetically, Islam Makhachev moves up and he becomes the welterweight champ, we then do the winner of Arman versus Gaethje versus the winner of Topuria versus Charles. They then go for an undisputed unification of the belts because obviously one of these guys will be an interim. So, but if Islam Makhachev stays as the lightweight champ, let's say he loses to JDM, we then do Charles versus Ilia, and then the winner just fights Islam Makhachev. Where does Paddy Pimblett fall into all this, though? Paddy Pimblett has 2 options at the moment. That is, stay active or take some time off. If he wants to stay active, he can make a turnaround and fight Dustin Poirier at Louisiana, at UFC Louisiana, which will probably be around UFC 318 or 319. But problem with this is, I doubt they're going to want to put Dustin Poirier in his last fight in the UFC against an up-and-coming like Paddy Pimblett, who would just beat the shit out of him, if we're going to be honest, especially the way they handle Chandler. So, I think the option really left here for Paddy Pimblett is take some time off and then wait for the loser of Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria to be ready, or the loser of Gaethje versus Arman to be ready. And that's my honest opinion on this lightweight problem. That's my solution to the lightweight problem. And if you did enjoy this video or you agree with me in any way, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.